Following all of the crazy news that came out yesterday in regards to FTX, we have even more news. A lot of this is going to be based on speculation, things that are people saying out there, but it's wild, guys. So don't go anywhere. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion, is my own research. I highly encourage you to go do your own research. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into the news. First up here is coming from Autism Capital over on Twitter. They say rumors are saying that Sam is still in the Bahamas. Him and his core team haven't left the war room. Apparently, discussions are around who will take the liability. Loans and funds were given to entities they weren't supposed to. They're discussing fallout potentials. And here's the thing. Sam Bankman-Fried, he has actually stated himself some public statements over here on Twitter just a couple hours ago. And there's some speculation that he was arrested over in the Bahamas, but I haven't seen an official report on that as of yet. So stay tuned, guys. I'll keep you up to date if he does end up getting arrested. And continuing on here, Tom Emmer says, interesting, Gary Gensler, if you guys don't know who Gary Gensler is, he's the head for the SEC. Gary Gensler runs to the media while reports to my office allege he was helping SBF and FTX work on legal loopholes to obtain a regulatory monopoly. We're looking into this. As was reported yesterday on my channel, it has been mentioned that the SEC has been doing an investigation into the FTX exchange for several months now. It just was not publicly known at the time. Moving on. Fubar pointed out that Alameda Research, they lost 11 figures by using insider information to front run the trades over on FTX. So there is a lot of shady shenanigans going on between Alameda Research and that of FTX itself. Now, as far as for SBF, he has a thread. I'm going to go ahead and read this through. This was about 8 hours ago as of the time of me recording this video. There's a separate post where he does actually mention even a little bit more. So SBF starts off by saying, one, I'm sorry. That's the biggest thing. I effed up and should have done better. Two, I also should have been communicating more very recently. Transparently, my hands were tied during the duration of the possible Binance deal. I wasn't particularly allowed to say much publicly, but of course it's on me that we ended up there in the first place. 3. So here's an update on where things are. This is all about FTX International, the non-US exchange. FTX US users are fine. Treat all of these numbers as rough. There are approximations here. 4. FTX International currently has a total market value of assets / collateral higher than client deposits. Moves with prices. But that's different from liquidity for delivery, as you can tell from this data withdrawals. The liquidity varies widely from very to very little. 5. The full story here is one I'm still fleshing out every detail of, but as a very high level, I effed up twice. The first time, a poor internal labeling of bank-related accounts meant that I was substantially off on my sense of users' margin. I thought it was way lower. 6. My sense before. Leverage 0x. USD liquidity ready to deliver 24x average daily withdrawals actual. Leverage 1.7x. Liquidity 0.8x Sunday's withdrawals. Because, of course, when it rains, it pours. We saw roughly $5 billion of withdrawals on Sunday, the largest by a huge margin. 7. And so I was off twice, which tells me a lot of things, both specifically and generally, that I was crap at. And a third time, in not communicating enough. I should have said more. I'm sorry. I was slammed with things to do and didn't give updates to you all. 8. And so we are where we are, which sucks, and that's on me. I'm sorry. 9. Anyway, right now, my number one priority by far is doing right by users, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that, to take responsibility and do what I can. 10. So right now, we're spending the week doing everything we can to raise liquidity. I can't make any promises about that, but I'm going to try and give anything I have to if that will make it work. 11. There are a number of players who we are in talks with, LOIs, term sheets, etc. So again, LOI stands for letter of intent. We'll see how that ends up. 12, every penny of that and of the existing collateral will go straight to users unless or until we've done right by them. After that, investors, old and new, and employees who have fought for what's right for their career and who weren't responsible for any of the F-ups. 13, because at the end of the day, I was CEO, which means that I was responsible for making sure that things went well. I ultimately should have been on top of everything. I clearly failed in that. I'm sorry. 14. So what does this mean going forward? I'm not sure. That depends on what happens over the next week. But here are some things I know. 15. First, one way or another, Alameda Research is winding down trading. They aren't doing any of the weird things that I see on Twitter and nothing large at all. And one way or another, soon they won't be trading on FTX anymore. 16. Second, in any scenario in which FTX continues operating, its first priority will be radical transparency. Transparency it probably always should have been giving as close to on-chain transparency as it can so that people know exactly what is happening on it. 17. All of the stakeholders would have a hard look at FTX governance. I will not be around if I'm not wanted. All of the stakeholders, investors, regulators, users would have a large part to play in how it would be run, solely trust. 18. But all of that isn't what matters right now. What matters right now is trying to do right by customers. That's it. 19. A few other assorted comments. This was about FTX International. FTX US, the US-based exchange that accepts Americans, was not financially impacted by this crap fest. It's 100% liquid. Every user could fully withdraw. Modulo gas fees, etc. Updates on its future coming. 20. At some point, I might have more to say about a particular sparring partner, so to speak, but, you know, glass houses. So for now, all I'll say is, well played, you won. It goes on to say, not advice of any kind in any way. I was not very careful with my words here and do not mean any of them in a technical or legal sense. I may well have not described things right, though I'm trying to be transparent. I'm not a good dev and probably misdescribed something. 22, and finally, I sincerely apologize. We'll keep sharing updates as we have them. Yeah, I would love to know what you guys think about this, but frankly, from my point of view, it feels like he's just blowing smoke up people's butts. I'm still waiting for more information to come out, but yeah, this kind of jab that he's doing at the other person saying, well played, you won. I don't know. I've seen CZ. I'm assuming that he's referring to CZ Binance over here. He might be referring to somebody else, but based on what I can tell, I feel like CZ was legitimately trying to do something good. I don't know all the details, obviously. Almost nobody's going to know all the details, but as it is, the presentation, it definitely looks like CZ was trying to do what he could. But let us know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And then continuing on here, SBF says, we hope this is just step one, beginning to find ways to bring liquidity to users. That is the core thing that I am fighting for right now and will continue to fight for in whatever ways I can. And then he's sharing this from FTX. So FTX announcement regarding the Tron credit facility. We are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Tron to establish a special facility to allow holders of TRX, BTT, JST, Sun, and HT to swap assets from FTX one-to-one to external wallets. Absolutely crazy. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of Justin Sun, aka the guy that runs Tron, that runs BTT, that also runs JST and Sun. I'm not sure what HT is, but I'm assuming that it's probably that too. So essentially, he created a whole bunch of different tokens. And that's a whole other story that I could ramble on about. But the fact that it's like, hey, congratulations, guys. Guess what? We're working with this guy. I'm kind of like, well, this looks like it's going to cause potentially a whole other set of issues. But, you know, some people like Justin Sun and his projects. Autism Capital also saying here, unconfirmed, Sam is currently living in a $35 million penthouse in the Bahamas. He owns $200 million worth of property on the island. The, quote, I drive a Corolla image was a fabrication for credibility. Again, this is a rumor here. and it's saying, I'm a member at the same club SBF is in the Bahamas. He's bought well over $200 million worth in property, had the clubhouses, restaurants stay open 24/7, and has been buying every property that goes on the market. Several employees are claiming the $200 million worth of property is used as FTX housing, where employees live together. Sam leases this housing to employees. Each employee has one bedroom. These properties are one of the most expensive and top in the world. Again, not fully confirmed, but this is what's being shared with the community, so I wanted to keep you guys updated. And then lastly here, so Wall Street Journal says FTX had $16 billion in customer assets, and they gave $10 billion to Alameda, who blew it all. Unbelievable. A poor judgment call. Look at this. FTX Chief Executive Sam Bankman-Fried, I don't know if it's Fried or Freed, I keep saying it, guys, told an investor this week that Alameda owes FTX about $10 billion, the person said. FTX extended loans to Alameda using money that customers had deposited on the exchange for trading purposes, a decision that Mr. Bankman-Fried described as a poor judgment call, according to the person. All in all, FTX had $16 billion in customer assets, according to the person. So FTX lent more than half of its customer funds to its sister company, Alameda. Bro. Like I've said before, I'll say it again. What an absolute dumpster fire. Tell us what you guys think about this in the comments below. Last thing that I have for you is check this out. Webull is a platform where you can buy stocks. You can also buy cryptocurrency. They have some options that are available there. They have an incredible promotion going on. I have a referral link in the description if you want to check this out. You could get up to 12 free stocks. And the way that it works, you open an account, you can get 2 free fractional shares, each valued up to $300. And if you deposit any amount, you could receive 4 to 10 free fractional shares, each valued up to $3,000. Obviously, the odds of you getting these very high valued fractional shares is very low. But there is a possibility that you could get that. You're still seeing things. I've been looking at it earlier today. It's like around $3 or so a share on up. So if you guys are looking to try and get some extra money, you're trying to get in on some stocks while the market is actually low right now, because we just had a huge dip with a lot of things going on, right? This is an opportunity for you guys. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just an opportunity. I want to share it with you. If you want to jump on it, there you go. I've been using Webull for a good amount of time now. I like their tools and services, but that's my point of view on it. And again, if you guys want to participate in that, then feel free to do so. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Double shout out thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Victor Vegas, SafeMoon Odds for being higher level patrons. Also thank you to my YouTube members for your guys' support. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.